So today, the new trailer for the new Star Wars series Maul Shadow Lord just dropped, and I watched it. And while the show looks good, I can't help but be just a little underwhelmed. There are two big reasons behind that. The main things I would probably say would be the era and the art style. These issues are two sides of the same coin, and both of these things have currently been so overused by Lucasfilm that I can't really get excited about yet another project that checks both of these boxes. Let me explain. Both of these problems are so intertwined that it's going to be hard to separate them out, but let's start with the era. The first few projects that were set between episodes 3 and 4 were Star Wars Rebels and Rogue One, which were so close to the original trilogy that it wasn't meaningfully different. You know, this was due to the aversion to touching anything resembling the prequels during this time. Despite what revisionist history says, the fans still viewed the prequels as toxic in the early years of Disney Star Wars, and it wasn't until after the release of the sequel trilogy that they were more unironically embraced. The only exception to this rule was the Clone Wars, and which is why anything related to the prequels during this time had to cling to that Clone Wars iconography. This is around the same time that the Clone Wars was able to be finished, with the Bad Batch being announced shortly afterwards. I know when Rebels was first getting announced and released, I know there were some fans who were angry about the show because they just wanted a direct continuation of the Clone Wars, which is understandable as the show had been left hanging, with the Disney buyout being really the main reason why the show was put on ice for 7 years. So, starting the completion of Clone Wars in 2020, then into Bad Batch in 2021, and up till now, the Clone Wars has been saved and the monkey's paw curled, but it doesn't look like it's ever going away. Now, this leads me back into the art style. I don't actually hate it. It has stylized character designs, making it easier to stand on its own as opposed to trying to slavishly recreate specific actors. It also allows for fast movement, helping to sell lightsaber battles and other action set pieces. It can also look really good without going for photorealism, and looking how it's improved from the Clone Wars movie to now is a night and day difference. Also, I know Visions is like the one other thing that uses different art styles, and that's great, but as far as every canon piece of animation in the last 5 or so years has been this style, the Clone Wars style. I guess my issue boils down more so to the marketing and the branding of these shows than anything else. This started with the Bad Batch, which covered the very early days of the Empire and really showed on a macro level how the Republic was being phased out and how the galaxy was slowly getting worse. I like that. And, you know, show had 3 seasons. Okay, good run. Then there was Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire, and Tales of the Underworld, which were essentially just vignettes focused on different characters, but mostly still in that very narrow timeline. Now, we go on to Maul Shadow Lord, which appears to be picking up in this exact same time period based on the Stormtrooper designs. Each of these things is labeled as a different show, when the reality is that it is one show that changes focus to different characters as it goes on. Now, I know there was another show that did that. What was another show? There was another... Oh, yeah. In my opinion, it's misleading to try to split up what has essentially been the same show for the last 5 years into all these different projects, which is obviously being done to pad out Disney Plus and make it look like there's more shows than there actually are. Now, Bad Batch, Maul Shadow Lord, the Tales shows, this has clearly been an ongoing project at Lucasfilm, telling new stories in this era with this art style and animation. So just drop the separate shows and just put everything together under one banner and call it what it really is: Clone Wars Aftermath. At least the live action Star Wars shows have been set in different eras for the most part. I would kind of like for all the live action stuff to be put under one label as well, but with the shows we have, it doesn't really make as much sense. And, you know, each one really is enough of its own project that you don't have to lump them all together. The live action shows have essentially taken the place of what would have been Star Wars stories. Oh wait, frick, that's a good name. Why don't they just call them that? Anyways, Maul Shadow Lord looks fine. I'll probably still check it out when it drops. I guess my main concern with the show itself is that it will cover so much of the same ground of Bad Batch and Tales shows that I won't really find it that interesting. You know, we're kind of running through the same plot lines, but I hope not. I think that with the Crime Syndicate stuff, it'll be more unique, and so I guess I'm cautiously optimistic, but I really do hope that at some point we kind of start to shake things up when it comes to Lucasfilm Animation, or at least be more honest about what this project really is. And I'll be back when the Tales of the Grogu featuring Slice Noodles drops on Disney Plus. It'll be good.